I want to take a few minutes to talk about some general auction advice. We've done a lot of auctions, we've learned from our mistakes, and different things work in every community. So just take this for what it's worth. It's just some things that we have found that have worked well for us. When it comes to items, it's important to be able to gather as many items as you can for your auction. Put them together in baskets for things. Oftentimes, just having one gift card for $10 or $20 is not a great option, but maybe putting that together in a movie package, or I've seen really creative things like a rocketry bag with model rockets and things like that. So think about all the different folks you have. Think about the men and the women and the different things that they might be wanting to be involved in. Think about people's children. Think about grandkids. All of these different kinds of angles that people might see something, is oftentimes they'll come to look for gifts at these particular auctions. So in this case, in the silent auctions, that's all on the tables. People are bidding. You want to be able to close the tables in some kind of an order so that as the tables close, people see, hey, I didn't get this item that I wanted. Let me go over and bid on these other items. And so you want to give people a chance during the night to part with as much of their money as possible. They've often come with an amount that they want to give, and we want to give them the opportunity to do that. I know I've gone to auctions, and it's just like, hey, it hasn't really worked out, and the way the auctions run, I kind of end up not maybe giving as much as I had hoped to. So in this particular case, the silent auctions are a great opportunity to do that. Also, look for chances to do these silent fixed price auctions where you might have 5 or 10 or 20 of a particular item, and you can do those all for a fixed price. This is a great way to get groups of people together that may all want to go and do something as a group, and they'll get their friends and things like that. So this is a great opportunity to do that. For the live auctions, it's really important to have a great auctioneer. This is worth spending some money to do, because I have seen items that I thought, hey, this is going to stop at $200, but lo and behold, the auctioneer, through working the crowd and people are having a good time, and you get a little friendly competition going, and all of a sudden you see that item go up to over 1,000. And when I thought, hey, this is going to sell for 200. So anyway, great thing happening. Another thing to note during your live auctions, if you have the person who has donated the item, and if it's something, oftentimes people will donate a dinner or something like that for 6 or something, and if that bidding goes up fairly high and they say, hey, I'll do 2, and you can oftentimes get a split. You go in there, change the quantity, put in both bids, and maybe one would go for 700 and one would go for 750, whatever the last final 2 bids are, or however the auctioneer kind of works that out. So another thing with the auctioneer, an ideal setup for a live auction is you have an auctioneer, and then you would have another person, or maybe even 2 people who are kind of the MCs of the night, who introduce each item. And this is a good balance between the auctioneer and that the MCs can play off of one another, and it creates a fun environment for the evening. Additionally, it's good to have a person who is dedicated at a computer, or maybe even 2, entering the live auction items as they happen. This really helps you keep up over the course of the night. And then having 1 or 2 spotters around the room that can help the auctioneer see as people bid, because I've seen bids go where the person decides not to because the auctioneer didn't see them. That's a great thing to just make sure you have those folks. So that's really an ideal setup for some of the auctions that I've seen. And then giving people the chance to give a donation near the end of the night is a good opportunity for those who haven't had a chance to maybe donate as much as they would have liked to just give a pure donation. And there's a couple of interesting ways to do this. It can just be, hey, we want to sponsor children at $150 a piece. How many would you like to sponsor? And some people actually sponsor more than one. There's also the idea of maybe you need to get a van or something like that, and we need 10 people to sponsor the van, each at $1,000 or whatever it is, and people can buy a part of something. Or if you're building houses, maybe you can say, hey, who'd be willing to go in for a window at $200, or a door, or who'd like to pay for the roof? Those kinds of things are a really tangible way for folks to grab onto certain things and really see where their money's going, as opposed to just some general kind of donation. Another way to do it is just to go down, and maybe you start at 5,000 and drop down, just kind of depending on your auction, and you have to know your crowd, and then give people a chance to give at each level, and then you basically just record what all the bidder numbers were for each level. So everybody who wants to give 100, they put their hands up or their bids up, and you get all those down. It's really important at that point that those spotters are recording all those numbers and that you can then double check. Although oftentimes those double checks can also happen at the checkout, but it's nice to get those right on the first try. On the bidders, it's good to if you can get people with bidder numbers in the low numbers, that's great. Or on the high numbers, if you can keep those separate from bidders and the items, again, makes a lot of difference there. Uh, Getting people in and out efficiently is really key. People remember, wow, that was a great experience. It was really easy to get in. It was really easy to pay as I left. So those are some things that we've found that are really effective as far as putting on auctions. There's many other things. I'm sure you'll find lots of advice, but just a few things that have helped us.